Before this video starts, I want to include a picture of my really rad costume. I actually had I had a costume change at one point because I got really lazy and did not want to change again. So here's a picture of the costumes that I had on Halloween. Hope you had a spooky Halloween. Bear with me, I'm a little off today. I might be a little not like I am usually, so just bear with me. So, hey guys, it's Kieran, and you know, it was just the same friends. You guys see him a lot. I've been with them for a lot of time right now, and just a lot of social social stuff like that. I can't do very well, but I'm cutting it close on time. It is Wednesday right now, and I need to film this video real quick and get this uploaded for you guys. Today we are doing FTM passing tips, and just keep in mind that these are just if you want to look more masculine per se, as if like society's view of masculine. Like that kind of steps back on what I'm kind of doing here, but like society views masculine in a certain way and feminine in a certain way, and people like with these FTM passing tips, you're trying to look like society's view of masculine and or male, and because you want people to view you as male. And so, but really, it doesn't really matter what you look like. If you're a boy, you're a boy. You're the only person who knows that, so you could be a boy and you could wear makeup. There are many drag queens out there. Some boys just like to wear makeups. I'm not usually one to, condone conforming to society, but, if you want to look more masculine, here's a video to do it, is what I'm trying to say. Step one is hair. You gotta find hair that kind of suits you per se, and it doesn't have to be short, it doesn't have to be long, it doesn't have to be completely gone. It could be long. There are lots of men with long hair. If you want to look more masculine, think more of your face shape and what your facial structure would complement your face. Right now I have this happening, but this isn't gonna really last very long. I don't know why I'm doing this video like this. Hold up. I'm gonna fix this real quick. So you gotta find a hairstyle that you like. It doesn't have to look a certain way. As long as you feel comfortable in your hairstyle, then it's a hairstyle that you should stick with. It's all about comfort here. You have to feel comfortable with yourself. So currently I am not very comfortable with the hair that I have now, and so the solution to my situation is to, kind of just fucking get rid of it.
If you don't like your hair, just, shave it all off. That's kind of what I did. And you just, hair grows back, It's not that important. You don't need hair in order to survive. It's not like it's a vital bodily organ or nothing. So my personal hairstyle right now is kind of just bald, but I've had many different hairstyles in the past. And I've tried a lot. I've been short mostly.
My fucking camera broke. I mean, not broke, but it died. My fucking luck. Right as I shaved my fucking head, my fucking camera dies. Can you fucking believe that? Anyways, yeah, if you don't like your hair, just fucking shave it off. That's what
I did. There's no problem in shaving off all your hair and starting all over again.
Did I fucking do this correctly? Hold on. Yep. This is the hairstyle I've chosen. I've been bald. I've had that little patch of my hair there. I put it all the way down the back once. I go for more alternative kind of emo kind of styles per se with my hair. I used to dye it a lot. I've been like purple, blue, pink, a bunch of other colors. It really doesn't matter. Your hair is your hair. You could do whatever you want with it. Your hair doesn't really define you or anything. But I'm bald right now. This is what I've chosen. I'm going to kind of grow it out, maybe. I might go back to having a fringe again. Second, or whatever, we're going to talk about binding. Personally, I have a binder. I don't have the best binder. I'm covered in hair, aren't I? Hold up. While I show you my binder, I'm going to show you my binder. I'm going to knock all the hair off of me. So this is my binder. I got it, like, off Amazon. And, I mean, it does a good job for what it's for. But I wouldn't necessarily suggest it. If you're just trying, if you're getting a starter binder and you're just trying it out and you've never bound before or whatever, this would be your binder, because this, I'm kind of trying out the binding. I've only been binding for like, I want to say 6 months. I'm not going to count them out right now. I'm fucking lazy, but it's a pretty good binder for what it's done for me. As you can see, I'm pretty flat. You see that? Yeah. I mean, I got the bump, but like, I'm also not a prepubescent child, so it's not like I'm going to have a completely flat chest. It does well for what it's supposed to do. And as you saw with the shirt, how do you put the fucking shirt on? You saw with the shirt, it's pretty flat. You know, you could just kind of like even it out a little bit. And yeah, it does pretty well for what it's supposed to do. Another thing you can do is, I'm not going to try it right now, but I'll pull some out for you right now. If you can't get a binder, like, it's not helpful for you, or not that it's not helpful for you, but like, you can't get a binder because it's like difficult. There we go. It's pretty difficult for you to get a binder. You don't have any like friends or whatever you could send it to their house or whatever. You don't have the money, or your parents aren't supportive or whatever. You could always use sports bras, and they don't do that well of a job per se, but I bound with sports bras for a while, and I have pretty big breasts. I'm a pretty chesty man, and my chesticles are pretty fucking big. But I would use 4 sports bras, because yeah, my chest is that big. If you have a pretty big chest, I would suggest 4, but like 2. My friend uses 2. He binds with like 2 sports bras. It works for him pretty well. I think he's like a B or a C. You just get sports bras per se, and you put the first one on right, and then you put the next, like, however many you need, you put them on backwards, so that the back of it is like, you know, putting against it. You're like compressing it per se, and then you just keep adding on. I've gone for 4. 3 kind of works for me sometimes. I need at least 3 though. My chest is pretty big, but that's also pretty helpful if you want to try that. Do not use tape. Do not use ace bandages. Ace bandages are meant to, you know, start to get tighter as there's like space per se. So as you're like breathing, it'll keep getting tighter and restrict your breathing. And tape and stuff like that, like, it's a self-explanatory thing, but I've done tape before. I'm just gonna tell you, I'm that stupid person that's done tape, and I almost ripped my nipples off, and that is not a very pleasant experience. So do not use tape, do not use ace bandages. If anything, sports bras. If you wear a binder and you cannot fucking breathe, take that shit off. Like, always pack an extra fucking like sports bra or 2. Like, take that shit off. It's okay. Like, you don't need to be binding all the time. You're not supposed to bind for like more than 9 hours or something like that. This is kind of difficult for me to show you. But packing, I want to talk about packing. I don't pack a lot. I only do it when I feel like I really, really need to. Or like, usually it's more around family, honestly. Because, like, it's kind of a new thing for me to be out to my family, and so I feel like I still need, like, I feel like I need to pass more around them. I don't know what it is. It doesn't make any sense. It's in my brain. But I usually pack around when I go to, like, family events and I have to go see other people, or on days when I just don't, when my dysphoria is really, really bad, I'll pack, and it'll kind of give me a little bit more confidence. But what I do for packing, basically, is, here. I'll get, like, socks. This one's like 3, but I would usually do like 1 or 2. 1 helps if you're, because like, when I used to go to school, I know I'm a rebellious teenager, I used to use I would have 2 of them on me. I would be packing, okay, and then I would need to, like, they would come and search me because I'm a bad kid. So you know, it also helps if you like put cigarettes in there. It gives a little bulge. So I'm not gonna take this apart, but like you would do 2, and then you would kind of like flatten it and put it in like the crotch part of your underwear, basically. You would just kind of shove it in there. These kind of ones, I have these nice ones where it's kind of like the hole is kind of up at the top, kind of. So those are really great for packing if I need to pack. But you kind of just, you know, I'm not gonna make it all nice. But yeah, there's like a little bulge there, and you kind of just wear it like that. And this is 3, but I would go for like 2, or if you know you're hiding stuff, 1, and then just kind of put it in there, and it kind of creates a little bit of a bulge. You can also get a packer per se, which is basically like a fake dick, similar to a dildo per se. I don't have a packer. I don't feel the need for a packer. I also don't feel the need for bottom surgery if I can like put socks in there one day, or like my thing will just grow anyway with testosterone. So that's what I have to say on packing. Clothes, this is more the yeah, you know, this is what people are mostly going for. Clothes wise, I would suggest baggier clothes. That's what I kind of do. If you don't have a binder, this helps a lot. Just like a baggier kind of clothes. It's harder in the summer for me because I do like to wear tank tops and stuff, and so I just, you know, usually the tank top will work because I have the binder. I'll just put, and then that makes me feel a little bit weird, kind of, because you can see the binder through it, but it's okay, no one's asking. It's like none of their business, you know. But like, you know, like a big shirt like this would work. But I also, like, I'm not gonna lie, I don't always wear like that kind of shirt. I suggest button-ups. Button-ups make me look really masculine, regardless of how well I'm like, how well I'm binding per se. So like this straight up makes you look like a freaking sexy man. This is my favorite one right now that I own, but like fucking wear a button up, and like, you know, I suggest the short sleeve ones too. I think those make me look very masculine. But also just rolling up the sleeves on anything kind of gives you the more kind of like masculine, laid back kind of, that's more of like a body language kind of thing. These shirts, baggy shirts, layers. Layers are also helpful if you don't have a binder. You know, you can wear like a short sleeve on top of a long sleeve if it's like cold, or like too short sleeve. I've heard of people who put like a tank top or a wife beater underneath their binder to help with binding, but then they also put it like on top as well. I have a lot of band shirts as well. Usually band shirts are kind of like baggy kind of shirts. And then pants, pants, any kind of pants works. I usually go for like jeans, like straight black jeans. Here's an example. These are like Denizens. I wear a lot of Denizens. They're Target brand, which is, I don't know. Judge me for wearing Target, but this is actually a really great brand. It fits very well. I suggest sagging. Like here, I show you my butt. Sagging. You would just kind of like, you know what sagging is. Just, you know, it gives the kind of impression that your hips are lower. Okay, so you would be sagging, and from two other people's angles, it looks like instead of your hips being up here, because this is where your hips would be. Guys have lower hips. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. And so girls' hips are kind of up here, and guys' hips would usually be lower. So if you're sagging a little bit, this is not really the best example because of these pants, but if you're sagging a little bit, it kind of gives the impression that your hips are a bit lower, And so that's why I always suggest sagging. I never was the person who would condone sagging. I honestly thought it was disgusting. But it helps a lot with passing and like dysphoria. Like if you have hip dysphoria, like aesthetically it looks like your hips are lower. And plus it's just a general thing that like guys do. Like you see a guy on the street and his pants are almost at his ankles. Like, even if you don't want to do that per se, or you don't believe in it, like, it's what the guys are doing. So if you want to look like all the other guys, you should sag, honestly. And then also, boxers. If people see you're sagging and you're wearing boxers and not like this thong or whatever, or some frilly lacy thing, they're gonna think, oh, that's a guy. And I usually like to get boxers, but like, since I do sag, they look better, per se. Like this one, the one I showed you, it has pizza on it. Like I would get something with the cool design on it because my butt's gonna be hanging out anyway. Like jeans and boxers. I wear shorts sometimes, like board shorts. Those help as well. A lot of people wear board shorts these days. A lot of penis people per se. You know, just sagging, baggy shirts. You're gonna want to try and cover as much as of your figure and your chest as possible, if that makes it a little easier to explain. Accessories are also helpful sometimes. Don't wear too many. Like, don't have. I see people. There are cis guys. Like I do see Damon Fizzy and like Johnny Gilbert and Brian Stars. They have like bracelets all over your arm. Like personally, I wouldn't wear a bunch of bracelets. Like maybe a couple bracelets and like a snapback. And like a watch and like a snapback, or like a belt and a snapback if you want to do accessories. I wouldn't go too much on the accessories unless they're like your piercings or stuff. Because like piercings are permanent things, so you don't really have to change that. This one's kind of a passing topic, but it's just generally helpful in general. If you want, I could kind of go into more detail on this, but it's just it's a basic tip. There's really not much to say about it. But I still keep a lot of my girl underwear, even though I've strictly switched to boxers. And I don't wear anything but boxers, except when it's my time of the month. So this is going to be maybe a triggering subject, so just like trigger warning periods. I find that it's very helpful. Let me fix that. I find that it's very helpful. I have a friend, he does this as well. I got the idea from him. Basically, you wear your girl underwear with a pad in it or tampon or whatever, just because you know it's like shaped like that, and you would wear it and then put your boxers over it, like cover the line per se. I say per se a lot, and then just wear them like it was just boxers, because people are only gonna see the boxers. So if you're sagging, you don't have to worry about having like this bloody, girly, frilly piece of underwear coming out or whatever. And it helps keep everything in there, because if you've ever put a pad in boxers, like boxers, like I'm just gonna talk about boxers, not like boxer briefs or anything, like boxers, shorts, boxers, that shit, there's a lot of room there, because, you know, we don't have a part to fill that room per se, and so, you know, it gets messy, it's not pleasant, so, you know, I suggest using, just for that 5 to 7 days, just wear girl underwear over your boy underwear, and with the pad or whatever, and that'll be really helpful, if that helps any. Now we're gonna talk about body language, because the way you kind of give off as a person helps as well for passing. You don't necessarily need to dress a certain way, because they're like you could dress really feminine, but if you give off like this dude kind of like body language thing, you might be able to pass more. I don't know, that's just a hypothetical, but body language is also very important, besides like the aesthetics of it. Suggest like when sitting, you should spread yourself out a little more. Like if you're sitting down, like spread your legs a little bit more, kind of like take up more room. You could put your arm on something else, like another chair next to you, if you know there's like no one there, or they've given you consent to put your arm on the chair, you know, because you got to talk about consent. It's not like it's not there. You know, if you need to cross your legs, don't cross them like, you know, legs crossed like a complete cross like that. Like if put your ankle on your knee and kind of have like a wider spread leg kind of set. Gotta stand, kind of stand with your shoulders apart, and like if you bind really well, you don't have to, because like obviously that's gonna be weird, like I'm so manly, like no, because that's gonna make it stick out. Hold on, let me adjust myself. Just like, you know, kind of have your shoulders back a little bit, stand a bit taller. This will also help if you have bad posture, because I have fucking bad posture. So stand a little far back. Keep your legs kind of apart, like I said. Guys usually point their feet outwards as opposed to inwards, so don't go like this or whatever. Keep your legs kind of like shoulder length apart with your legs, yeah, and then just kind of like stand like that. Kind of like a chill, but don't always be up and stiff about it, you know, like you don't have to be up and like no, you could be totally chill, kind of have this kind of slouch, but like good posture. Show confidence. Confidence is very important, even if you yourself aren't confident with yourself. I can't say that word for some reason. Confident. Even if you are not confident with yourself, because like no fucking lie, I'm not fucking confident with myself. If you give off the fucking, I say fucking a lot. If you give off that you're confident, then people are gonna see you as more confident, and they, you know, it's more of a masculine trait to be confident. I don't know why it's like that, but you know, it helps a little bit. Although, if you're watching this and you're a girl, you should be confident as well. Don't get me wrong. Walk with kind of like a swagger in your step per se. Like kind of give it like a little. Like, not like that. Don't walk around like you're like a fucking like gangster, like what up, because you can if you want to. Like, I'm not judging you, but like when you do walk, don't like just be like that, or like I don't know. Like I feel like if you like sprinkle around like no, kind of be chill. Don't really focus on what you're walking and how you look. Just try to get from A to B, B to C, wherever you need to go. Don't care about it. Don't. Just kind of walk normally with, you know, with your legs kind of apart, you know, take longer strides per se. If you, I have short legs, so that's hard for me, but you know, take longer strides, you know, yeah, just give off confidence. I don't know. Voice. Okay, so I don't think I'm very dysphoric about my voice, although I do know that it's very high. It's very obvious that it's high, and I could do stuff about it, but I honestly do not. It doesn't bother me. Like, I don't have voice dysphoria. You could help to have better, to have a deeper voice if you crave that deeper voice. I would say talk, slower and lower per se. You see my voice gets kind of deeper. The problem I have with that is that I can't always stay at this, you know, like this is like a level 2, 3 in the indoor voice, and I'm always, you know, I'm getting higher, I get excited about it, my voice gets higher. Yeah, if I wanted to pass more with my voice, I would be calm about it, but I'm like, I can't. I have like really bad ADD, so I'm always up here when I should be like down here. But if you want your voice to be deeper, I suggest speaking slower and quieter, but not too quiet so they're always like, what the fuck are you saying? You know, like they're not confused or anything. Like, talk loud enough to hear, but you know, you don't need to get super loud about it. You could be deep voiced about it, but don't be ashamed of your voice. Your voice, like, there are guys with really high-pitched voices still. Like, they called Bieber, like, a little girl for, like, a long-ass time because his voice, well, but he also got famous at 14. Like, it's okay. It's not like, even before you start T or anything, like, pre-op, pre-T or whatever, you're gonna look like a little boy. So, even if you have a high-pitched voice, like, it's not gonna matter much because you already look like you're supposed to have a high-pitched voice. So don't ever get weird about it or anything. Your voice is fine, fucking honestly. How to deal with people. I wrote dealing with people on my list. When I basically meant when you greet people, when you meet people, when you interact with them, your first thing, I would suggest going in for a handshake as opposed to a hug. If you're like stiffer, like if you're stronger in your hand, like, you know, that gives a bit like a I don't know, masculine kind of thing. Your dad's always like, to your brother or whatever, if you ever been around your dad and like a male sibling or something like that, he's always like, work on your handshake or whatever, like work on your handshake, have a stiffer kind of like squeeze to it, firmer handshake, that's the word I'm talking about, and just go into it like that or whatever. Just go in for a handshake when you meet people, except for girls. Like, I don't want to be sexist, but like, I don't know. See, I went in for a handshake with the girl the other day. I hadn't met her, so I was meeting her the first time, and I'm like, hi, I'm Kieran. I go for a handshake, and she's like, no, we're hugging. Like, usually when you meet girls, like, they want a hug. So if the girl goes in for a hug, you should hug her back, because it's kind of polite. But usually with your bros, like if you're meeting your bros or something like that, go in for a handshake. Sometimes, if you're really close with your bro, if we're like having a bromance or whatever, then you could go in for a hug, but usually I suggest the handshake. The funny thing about that story, though, is that I was like, oh, usually I go in for a handshake, you know, it helps me pass more, it's politer, some people don't like their boundaries broken, and she was straight up like, okay, show me your handshake, and I went in, and like immediately after I touched her hand, I was like, but I don't want to break her. Like, I'm not trying to be sexist, but I was like, I felt weird about it, so I was like, okay, maybe the hug was a good idea. Any additional tips or like, you know, just be confident. That's the basic thing. Just, you kind of act a little more confident about it. Don't act like you care about it. Like, if you keep, you're gonna look more like a man if you ignore all of it. Not ignore it per se, but you know, just like it's nothing. Just act the way you want to act like. Unless you keep fixating on it, because if you keep fixating on it, then people are gonna notice. They're gonna be like, what the fuck you so just be like, just show confidence, you know. And this was this week's video. I'm sorry I'm not doing too well emotionally. I tried really hard, but yeah, I hope you guys have good days, good weeks. I hope you had wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope you had wonderful Halloween. I hope you look super spoopy. And this is Kieran signing out. Thanks for watching.